Hello everyone, in this video we will learn InterVlan routing using multi-layer switch. So let's begin with the lab and configurations. Okay, we all know that we have three types of InterVlan routing. The earlier routing, which was called as a traditional routing, was using separate interfaces. That is, if we have two VLANs, then yeah, we will have to configure two interfaces on our router and connect them all over. If we have 10 VLANs, yeah, we still need to configure, but yeah, that is very time consuming, right? So then there was a new implementation of InterVlan routing, which was called as a router on a stick. Here you will have only one single interface, and even if you have more than 10 VLANs, you can still connect them on a one single interface. But yes, you will be configuring them as a sub interface on your one single interface that you have on your router. And today in our lab, we are going to do a multi-layer switch configuration for our InterVlan. Okay, so we will be configuring SVI. So SVI is nothing but it is called as a switch virtual interface. So here what we do, you don't need to configure these ports. We have taken a multi-layer switch over here. I have taken a PC. I have already configured my PCs to the VLAN 20 and VLAN 10 and named VLAN 10 as sales VLAN and VLAN 20 as a IT VLAN. Okay, so this has been pre-configured, and I have also configured the connectivity from this switch towards your PC as an access port, and I have configured this particular um, port as a access port either. Okay. To, I have also pre-configured trunks between my switches over here. So what I have done is, since this was auto, dynamic auto, and dynamic auto, so I have just configured a trunk over this port and a trunk connectivity on this port. So once there is a auto and auto, by the default dynamic trunking protocol method, this will never form a trunk. Okay, and a switch by default is set to be a dynamic auto. So the moment you configure this port connected to the opposite port, you have configured trunk. I just went to trunk connectivity here, and the other side here as a auto. So a trunk connectivity was formed between these two switches. So let's verify the same. So you can just go to this switch, okay, and say show interface, give the interface name, fast Ethernet 0/1 switch port. Okay, and yeah, so this is the trunk that you can see. Trunk connectivity has been successfully formed, and same over here on this port I have configured the trunk. So let's verify the same. So just go to this. This is fast Ethernet 0/1. So show interface fast Ethernet 0/1 switch port. Okay. So you can see the trunk has been formed with the .1 Q encapsulation. Okay, so far we have done with the connectivity here, and but you are all aware that there is no way of traffic to pass from this VLAN if you ping from VLAN 10 PC to VLAN 20, because it requires the interference of either a router or a multi-layer switch. So we need to go ahead and configure them now. So go back, but before you configure, ensure that you have enabled IP routing, okay, on your multi-layer switch. IP routing needs to be enabled here to route the traffic between different subnet. Okay, and yes, vice versa. So we need to enable IP routing. So let's go to the switch. Go to switch, configuration mode, just type IP routing, because you are going to configure your switch virtual interface on VLANs. You will also need to create VLANs. So I have already created my VLANs. So let's verify the same here. However, there is no necessity of creation of VLAN. There is no necessity to create the port numbers. You really don't need to configure these two ports that you see for your VLANs. Okay. You really don't need to configure port number here. So let's verify the VLANs, show VLAN brief. So I have configured already sales and IT VLANs here. Okay. However, no need of connectivity of any ports to this in a multi-layer switch. Okay. So you don't need to have a port here for VLANs. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure our SVI. And how do we do that? Just go back to your global configuration mode. You need to go to interface VLAN 10, assign the IP address 10.10.10.1 with 255.255.255.0 is the net mask, and just exit out of this. So you have configured your SVI for VLAN 10 now. You will need to configure SVI for your VLAN 20 on your multi-layer switch. So go back to global configuration mode, interface VLAN 20, IP address 10.10.20.10, and give the net mask 255.255.255.0. Just exit out. Okay, I'll give it as 10.10 here. Okay, I should have given 10.10. All right, so I got a duplicate error because it says duplicate address on VLAN 20. Okay, because the IP address I gave you here is not the right one. It is 20.1 here. So you need to give 20.1. So let's go ahead and correct it. Configure interface VLAN 20. Give the IP address. IP address we have is 10.10.20.10. Yeah, and your net mask. Okay, exit out. So it's been configured. So that's all with configuration of SVI. So let's go ahead and check the connectivity, and your router should be able to, your PC from VLAN 10 should be able to ping a VLAN 20, because we have configured InterVlan routing on your multi-layer switch. Okay, so this was your SVI configuration. So let's go ahead and ping the PCs. So I go to PC 0 and let's ping PC 1. So ping 10.10.20.10. Okay, so this is the destination PC 20.10 that we see here, and let's see if it is pinging. Yes, so you can see the packet loss is 0%. So received packets 4, sent packets have been 4. So you're able to ping between two VLANs using InterVlan routing, where we have used a multi-layer switch using switch virtual interfaces. So this completes the InterVlan routing. I hope that this video has been helpful to you all. See you in the next video.